Thanks for tuning in to the Mini Book Podcast. If you're enjoying the insights, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, let's dive in.
You ever get the feeling like you're kind of watching your own life from the sidelines?
Yeah, like maybe there's a more vibrant version of you just waiting.
Exactly, that little nudge, that feeling there's something more. That's what we're diving into today.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the sources you're curious about, pull out the key stuff, and give you a shortcut to really getting it and using it.
And today, we are jumping headfirst into Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life.
Catchy title.
It is. Think of this as your quick guide to the book's core idea, which is really about shifting from just wanting change
To actually deciding to change, and crucially, how you make that stick.
That's our mission today, to
Yeah.
really unpack that transformation.
And this book, it goes into so much. Subconscious beliefs, energy, fear, lots of ground covered.
Definitely prepare for a few aha moments. And Sincero's own story is pretty inspiring, too.
Right. She talks about trying all sorts of things before, finding what worked and building this really successful life based on these exact ideas.
It shows it's possible, which is kind of the whole point.
Okay, let's get into it. Part 1, how you got this way.
So the book kicks off by looking at something really powerful: our subconscious beliefs.
These are the sort of hidden rules we live by, often without even knowing it.
Exactly. Stuff from childhood, society, past experiences. And the kicker is how they can actually sabotage what we consciously think we want.
Ah, the classic 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake scenario.
Totally. Like, you might say you want more money.
But deep down, you might believe making money means, I don't know, soul-crushing work or something.
Or wanting a great relationship, but being secretly terrified of, well, getting hurt or losing freedom.
These conflicts, they just keep us stuck. Sincero says step 1 is just becoming aware of them, noticing the stories you tell yourself.
Yeah, and building on that internal landscape, she brings in this idea of source energy.
Okay, what does she mean by that?
Well, she describes it as this sort of universal potential we tap into with our thoughts, our feelings, our vibration, basically.
Like tuning a radio, you have to be on the right frequency.
That's the analogy she uses, yeah. If your internal vibration, your thoughts, your mood doesn't match what you won't attract it. Simple as that.
But it's not just wishful thinking, right? She's very clear on that.
Oh, absolutely not. It's energy alignment plus action, like serious, committed action, not just sitting around visualizing.
She tells that story about being in a tough yoga pose and realizing she just needed to surrender to the moment, stop fighting it.
Yes. And that really speaks to being present, recognizing the kind of miracle of now. Like electricity, it was always there. We just had to figure out how to use it.
It reminds me of that other story she mentions about the woman meditating for Krishna.
Oh, right. So focused on the idea of Krishna.
That she completely misses him when he actually shows up in person.
Exactly. We can get so lost in our heads, worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, that we miss what's right here.
Like even just noticing your breath right now, listening. That's being present.
Okay, so you start getting these ideas you want to change. But then something else kicks in. Sincero calls it the big snooze.
Huh. I like that. It's basically your inner resistance, isn't it? The part that hates leaving the comfort zone.
Totally. That voice of doubt, the procrastination, or sometimes even external stuff seems to pop up.
What do you mean, like external stuff?
Well, she talks about how sometimes it shows up as emotional blocks, fear, self-doubt, obviously. But other times, it's almost physical or circumstantial.
Like that client example, the
Right.
one who decided to follow his passion.
Yes. And then, bam, car trouble. The babysitter cancels. A water main breaks. And like the universe is testing his resolve.
Or maybe just his own subconscious freaking out about the change.
Probably more of that, yeah. It's natural resistance because you're messing with your established identity.
But here's a thought from the book I found really freeing. There are no wrong twists and turns.
Just being, experiencing.
Yeah, your job is just to be your authentic self. Trying to be someone else is like denying the world your specific weirdness,
Embrace the quirks. Find the humor. Accept yourself. Which leads us nicely into part 2, how to embrace your inner badass.
Okay, embracing the badass. Step 1 seems to be self-love.
Absolutely fundamental. She tells that cute story about her little nephew picking something up with perfect posture.
Right, illustrating that we kind of have this innate wisdom.
Exactly. And that links to affirmations, stating what you want as if it's already true.
But not just saying the words.
No. Crucially, you have to feel it. Feel the truth of it. Otherwise, it's just, lip service.
And part of that self-love is actually doing things you enjoy. Sounds obvious, but...
It's easily overlooked. If you love live music, go see some live music. Make joy a priority.
It includes self-care, too, setting boundaries, even if it means saying no sometimes.
Right. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It actually lets you show up better for everyone else. Be as kind to yourself as you are to your friends.
Okay, another big one. Tackling negative self-talk.
Huge. She says to really pay attention. What do you think when you look in the mirror? Or when someone else succeeds? Or when you fail?
Noticing those automatic critical thoughts.
Because once you notice them, then you can consciously choose something different, something better.
So instead of, I always mess up, maybe, okay, what can I learn here?
Exactly that. And also, maybe ease up on the self-deprecating jokes.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Well, a little humility is fine, but constantly putting yourself down, even as a joke, just reinforces the idea that you're not good enough. You're programming yourself.
Makes sense. And the comparison trap, too. Stop comparing yourself to others.
Please. It's pointless. Marilyn Monroe versus Kate Moss. Led Zeppelin versus Mozart. Different journeys, different expressions. You are you. That's enough.
We also need to talk forgiveness, specifically forgiving ourselves.
Oh, massively important. We all screw up. Holding on to guilt doesn't help anyone, least of all you. It just weighs you down.
So how do we make better choices going forward?
Sincero offers 2 key questions. 1, is this something I really want to be, do, or have?
Okay. Based on my desires, not what I think I should want.
Exactly. And 2, is this going to take me in a direction I want to go? Focus on your own internal compass.
What about other people's opinions, though? We can't just ignore everything, can we?
Well, she makes a distinction. Don't base your self-worth on opinions, but constructive criticism. That can be valuable.
Like the hothead example she gives. If multiple people tell you that, maybe it's worth looking at.
Right. But if it's just someone being judgmental, let it go. Trust your intuition, connect with that source energy inside you.
And if you struggle with caring too much what people think,
find a role model, someone who seems totally unbothered, and sort of channel them temporarily. Build that muscle.
Okay, good tip.
Okay.
So that brings us to part 3, how to kick some ass. This is the action part.
Yes. Moving from inner shifts to actually doing things starts with identifying your passions, what lights you up.
She has that cool exercise for this, the Be the Alien one.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Imagine you're an alien just dropped into your body. What do you observe? Objectively.
What talents does this human have? What seems to make them happy? What resources are around?
It gives you fresh eyes on your own life. Helps you see possibilities you might be blind to.
Okay, so you figure out what you love. Then what?
Then you start taking action. Even tiny steps. Even if you're scared.
Because everyone who achieved anything big was probably scared too.
Absolutely. And she also says, don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel.
Look at people who inspire you. See what they did.
Exactly. Learn from them. And also meditation.
You mentioned that earlier. It's not just for monks on mountains.
Not at all. It's practical. Reduces stress, helps you relax, connects you to your intuition. She suggests simple ways to start focusing on breath, looking at a candle, visualizations.
Or guided meditations too. Lots of options.
Definitely. And underpinning all this action is the power of your thoughts.
The Einstein quote comes to mind. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking.
It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Spot on. Which leads to manifestation techniques.
Like ask, and it is given.
Yep. Be clear about what you want. Put it out there. And then act as if.
Act as if it's already happening or on its way.
Kind of. Embody the belief. She uses that funny example of wanting to hang out poolside with the president.
Huh. Right. Start acting like someone who could end up in that situation.
It's about the energy, the belief. Also super important, your environment. Surround yourself with supportive people.
People who lift you up, not drag you down, makes a huge difference.
Huge. And remember to enjoy the process. Connect with your inner kid, have some fun. Don't be afraid to be a beginner at things.
Keep it light, keep it playful.
And give. The giving and receiving dynamic is key. Remember the story about her niece and the Tic Tacs?
Simple joy in sharing, so give compliments, say yes to things.
Small acts of generosity. And practice gratitude. Seriously powerful.
This is good because exercise, finding the upside in anything.
That's the one. Even in tough situations. She talks about lessons from India too, talking to strangers, expecting the unexpected, finding humor.
It all comes back to perspective and presence. Okay, shifting gears slightly. Part 4, How to Get Over Your BS Already.
Well, I love that title. She uses this great analogy, a bird trapped in a house.
Oh yeah, frantically banging against the window.
While the door is wide open. We do that, right? Create drama, miss the obvious solution.
Because what you focus on becomes your reality.
Exactly. Like that exercise, look for red objects, then try to recall the yellow ones. You see what you look for.
So we need to look at our limiting beliefs. Listen for those phrases.
I always, I never, I can't.
The examples she gives: sad sap Jane the lawyer, broke-ass Joe the trainer, the awesome guy shortage.
These are just stories. Often they're not even true. We hang on to them because they give us something, some false benefit.
Like attention, or an excuse not to try, or just about familiarity.
All of the above. Sometimes it runs deep, like the example of the person with the violent father clinging to victimhood. It's about seeing those hidden payoffs.
And also just owning your tendencies, working with them.
Yeah, if you're a last-minute person, okay, accept it. Plan around it. Don't just beat yourself up.
And the drama of overwhelm. We all feel that sometimes.
Sure. Make lists, set reminders, turn off the internet when you need to focus, ask for help. It's okay.
What about fear? That's a big one holding people back.
Huge. But she reframes it as a choice, like being in that dark cave, focus on the fear or focus on finding the flashlight beam.
Her fear about going to India turning out to be totally unfounded.
Right. Our greatest fears are the greatest waste of time. Powerful line.
And recognizing that other people are often mirrors.
Reflecting back things we like or dislike in ourselves. It helps detach from their reaction sometimes.
It comes back to setting boundaries too. Not needing everyone to like you. Standing in your truth.
Which requires asking that tough question again. What am I getting out of being this way? Uncover those false rewards.
Okay, makes sense. Which brings us to the final part, part 5, also called How to Kick Some Ass. More action.
But this time it's about the commitment behind the action, making a real decision, not just kind of wanting it.
You need that 10-ton gorilla of desire, she says.
Yeah. Otherwise, you end up like her in that yoga class, pretending to be injured to avoid the hard pose. We've all done versions of that.
It requires really upping your level of what's possible, especially with money, she emphasizes.
Right, the Audi versus the Honda story. Deciding she deserved more, could achieve more, even before the money was fully there.
Because committing to a bigger game changes everything. It's not about having the cash right now.
And making things urgent, like paying rent or fixing a rotten tooth. You just find a way when it's urgent enough.
So create that urgency for your goals. Set non-negotiable bottom lines.
Exactly. Like always having X amount in the bank or always donating Y%. It changed your whole relationship with it.
There's also an element of surrender here, though, right? Letting go of control.
Yes, the butterfly analogy. Chase it desperately. It flies away. Relax. Be still. Maybe it lands on you. Trust the process. Let go of the how.
But don't confuse surrender with inaction. I tried isn't enough.
No way.
Right.
Successful people take consistent action. They embrace the discomfort. They show up.
Make personal growth non-negotiable. Schedule it like brushing your teeth. Get help if you need it.
Absolutely. Coaches, mentors.
Yeah.
Like pro athletes have coaches. Why wouldn't we? For our lives. It accelerates everything.
Use your breath throughout the day, too, to stay connected, stay grounded.
Simple but powerful. And when you do affirmations, get physical. Pump your fist. Stand tall. Feel it in your body.
Use your secret weapons, music, images, whatever keeps you in that positive zone.
Totally. And never forget Nana in the elevator.
Huh. The ultimate example of believing nothing is impossible. Love that story.
It really sticks with you.
She also recommends some further reading for people who want to go deeper.
Yeah, books like Spiritual Liberation, The Power of Now, As a Man Thinketh, The Creative Habit, and biographies of inspiring people like Richard Branson.
Lots to explore there.
Definitely. So if we boil "you are a badass" down, the power is in the decision, the real decision, and then consistently doing the work.
That life you want, it's not just a nice idea. It's actually possible. It's accessible.
Right here, right now.
So our challenge to you listening, pick one thing, just one insight from this deep dive today, and do something about it, like right now.
What's one small decision you can make this minute that starts moving you toward your own version of being a badass?
Go find out. Believe in yourself, embrace the journey.
And go kick some ass.